Welcome everyone to my channel. In this video, you'll see carp and catfish fishing, and I'll also be cooking breakfast since I didn't have time at home.
It all started when I borrowed my friend's rod pod with 3 rods, electronic bite alarms, and carp rods with a double drag system.
Super convenient. The adjustable legs let you set it up on any uneven surface.
I really liked it, so I got one for myself too, and highly recommend it for carp, catfish, and even pike or trout fishing.
Today was just that kind of situation. I cast carp feeders filled with a mix of breadcrumbs, jelly, and corn soaked in juice.
I had corn on the hook. Everything was set up for carp.
I also brought my full field kitchen set today.
A table, a chair, a gas burner, and cookware to make breakfast. Food cooked and eaten outdoors always tastes way better than at home.
I also tried casting jig heads with soft plastic lures, but the lake was so overgrown that I kept pulling out weeds every time, and it quickly got annoying.
On the way, I stopped by a store and bought breadcrumbs for coating, strawberry jelly, and corn. Then I mixed it all thoroughly in the bucket.
You can also add cornmeal porridge, but not today.
Today, I picked the perfect spot. The rocks on the shore gave me peace and quiet, while all the sunbathers and blankets were on the nearby beaches without rocks.
The line on the reels has a 20-pound test. Attached to it with a swivel is a feeder, a spring filled with bait, and 3 hooks baited with corn. Attached to it with a swivel is a feeder, a spring filled with bait, and 3 hooks baited with corn.
I also have colorful plastic beads that I put on the hook, along with the corn. They help lift the hooks off the bottom.
The bait gradually dissolves along the bottom, attracting carp from afar with its scent.
The corn floats slightly above the bottom, increasing the chances of being eaten first.
I cast my 3 rods in a trident pattern, each in a different direction, so they don't get tangled when reeling in fish. Both carp and catfish like to swim around the lake after being hooked.
After casting the rods, I got started on breakfast. I brought along sausages, eggs, canned tuna, tortillas, olives, and some sauce. I'm gonna fry all of it.
I bought the burner, gas, and cookware last year, but they weren't easy to find, so today is the first time I'm actually using them. I really enjoy relaxing in nature, away from city noise with nothing but the sound of birds singing.
For about an hour, I was casting the jig, while the carp rods stayed silent.
But as soon as I heated the pan with oil and started frying the sausages,
And started arranging the vegetables, the fish got hungry too and decided to eat first, so I had to wait a bit.
The bite was very clear, so I was already expecting a good carp.
after setting the hook, I thought there was no fish because there was almost no tension on the line. A few seconds later, there was tension again, then none, and this happened several times. My landing net, as always, was already in the water, just waiting for its moment. Unfortunately, it was a small catfish, about 1 to 1.5 pounds. Of course, catfish is still a fish, and you can thank it for the fight. But this wasn't exactly why I came here. Of course, I released it back into the water.
Then I refilled the feeder with bait, hooked the corn, and cast the rod again, waiting for a giant.
The carp weren't biting quickly today, so I went back to cooking breakfast. While I was cooking breakfast, a jet ski zoomed past me, circling around. At first I thought it looked cool, but then I realized that fool was probably scaring away all my fish.
I'm in no rush to go home and enjoying the beauty of nature. So I'm slowly frying my sausages with the omelet.
I sprinkled the finished omelet with Parmesan. There are also giant pike in this lake. Last fall, I spent all my free days going on salmon trips.
This year, I plan to mix in some salmon trips, but still make sure to catch at least one pike. I'd love to come here for an overnight stay. It'd be a better chance of catching a pike, but unfortunately, this is a national park, and they close at 11 p.m. As I was told, there used to be a lot of murders in the parks, and shady people wandering around, so now they keep it that way. Unfortunately, there's a lot of trash in the parks and around the lakes, so I collect not only my own, but also whatever else fits into my bag. I encourage you to do the same. At least clean up after yourselves, and it will be much more enjoyable for all of us to spend time here. By the way, people here catch catfish using sausages.
And pike are caught with live bait fish or a metal spoon lure.
Bon appetit to me! And finally, I got the long-awaited bite.
I knew right away that it was a big fish.
Although, like the catfish, it probably swam toward the shore a few times, so the line pulled very lightly, and I thought it had gotten off. But then it struck again, and this happened several times, sometimes scaring me, sometimes thrilling me.
It pulled really hard, so as you can see, I was reeling it in for quite a long time.
A jet ski came by again, circling around, but luckily my fish wasn't scared and took the bait.
Although something tells me that if it hadn't been circling here, I would have had even more bites.
I hope the footage from the 2 cameras will help you feel all the joy I experienced catching such a big fish.
As you can see and hear, the fish was spinning the drag very actively, even though it was tightened properly.
After the catfish, I forgot to put the landing net back in the water, even though I usually always do.
By the way, here's a life hack. When you're reeling in a big fish and try to scoop it with the net near the shore, it sometimes seems to get a second wind and starts fighting with renewed strength. I've lost a lot of fish that way. So always keep the landing net in the water, guide the fish straight into it, and only then lift it out.
And here's the long-awaited carp. Unfortunately, I didn't bring a scale, so I can only estimate its weight.
From my own experience, I'd say it weighs at least 20 pounds.
I know many recipes for carp, and I'll definitely share them in my future videos. But I won't keep this particular carp. It's very big, and its meat isn't tasty anymore. It's tough, chewy. Ideally, carp up to 5 pounds are recommended. As far as I know, this carp is a male. It's slim and long, while females are usually much rounder. It's time to release him back home. After the long fight, he was a bit tired, so I gently moved him around in the water. I'm not sure why, but if you just toss a tired fish back into the water, it often dies. If you gently stroke it with wet hands like this, it recovers faster. Maybe because the touch calms its fear of being handled.